Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. The last couple of 3 or 4 episodes of this show has been a cartoon and has been the best cartoon possible. I know a lot of people will sit there and watch the show and be like, I don't understand. This is so silly. This is just outrageous. And I'm like, it is. It really is. We got 3 days of 4 people sitting in a room talking about the same subject. Yes, I'm aware just how silly it is. But it's just kind of laughable when you think about it. You know, Bill told you his terms. Steffi, like an idiot, just can't seem to accept reality. She is so used to just getting her way. Oh, you're a monster. You can't be serious. First of all, Steffi, why are you trying to talk to a crazy person? Why are you sitting there trying to talk to? You're trying to use logic to a nut job at this point who walks around and decides, when I put on this necklace with a sword, I'm Dark Bell. It's like, okay, sure. This is the type of person that you're going to try to reach and use rational thought. You honestly think that if you say enough words that he's going to start thinking rational, and you honestly think if you keep calling Sheila a bunch of names that that's going to actually do anything? Even when Finn was jumping in, I was like, Finn, listen, she's not getting through to this guy, and she's known him for years, and she's been with him on an intimate level. She's not gonna sit there and get through to him. Why even bother to waste your breath? So they leave, and Steffi's like, no, you're not going anywhere. I was like, okay, so Steffi's gonna sit there and act like a 12-year-old girl that's not getting her way. And afterwards, Finn is like, all right, you need to sit there and tell me the story. You need to sit there and tell me what's going on. So Taylor caught Bill and Steffi in an intimate moment. So Taylor's response to that is to shoot this man in the back because she thought that he was taking advantage of her. I mean, was she always? I mean, I don't understand how that actually works. Even when Steffi was sitting there trying to explain it, she was like, "My mother was a different person. Your mother was a nut job." Okay? I mean, did she sit there and shoot every boy that kissed you in the back because she somehow thought that they were taking advantage of her? I don't understand how that actually works. I'm like, yeah, it sounds like to me that Taylor needs to be in jail. Okay? Sounds like Taylor needs to go to jail. The fact that she didn't go to jail, you know what? I'm not even going to sit there and get on that reason why, but I think at this point we all know why, and I'm just going to leave it alone. The fact that this woman's sitting there walking free after shooting somebody in the back is just, wow. Money talks and status walks and everything and anything in between, right? So that happens. That happens. Meanwhile, you got Liam and Wyatt more worried about their dad. And at first, Wyatt wants to sit there and call the cops. But Liam was like, let me sit there and check with people. Let me check with the staff. Make sure everything is on the up and up. That nothing didn't happen before we start jumping to raw conclusions. And eventually, you want to call him Baker. Now, I guess he went back to his house and Wyatt and Liam weren't there. So, Sheila doesn't really have a lot of options. Okay? If she stays, she's going to wind up getting arrested. She doesn't want to leave, but she doesn't really have a choice. So Bill's like, listen, this is what's going to wind up happening. I'm gonna call the cops. I'm gonna sit there and turn you in. And then I'm gonna work on getting you out. So, Kimberly may sit there and take a vacation or whatever for a little bit, but she'll be back. And then she'll be free. And then she can sit there and wreak more havoc. I sat there and I watched it and I'm like, were you still in these people's living room? What is going on? I love it. I love it. Now, again, I know the hardcore fans, we've been watching this for years. They don't like it because of X, Y, and Z. And years before it was much better. We could sit there and go back and forth because, I can say the same thing about GH, but here's the thing though. We don't have a DeLorean. We're not going back in time. So it is what it is, right? This is one of those shows where it's like you either take it or you leave it. There's just no in between. Um, it's the people that take it and still is like, man, I wish they had this, I wish they had that. Yeah, I wish a lot of things, but it is what it is. I don't know. It's just something about this show that I just find so entertaining because it's just so over the top in so many ways, and I love it. I mean, it's. I'm not gonna sit there and say it's my favorite, my favorite soap opera, but it's something that's just so laughable that it's just kind of hilarious. And eventually, yeah, Baker and the boys in blue get down there and they arrest her. Before then, she was all like, "Oh, I love you," and this, that, and the third. I was like, "Man, when you gonna sit there and say to Deacon when he finds out? Well, what are you gonna say to that?" I mean, I get it. They're, like she said, they're two sides of the same coin. And, Deacon wants to sit there and improve his life. And Bill just kind of accepted him for being just a scumbag or just being dark. They seem like they got more in common. It's like on days, you got Gwen and you got Xander. And I'm like, I don't know what you're still doing with judgmental Sarah. I get it. She wants you to change and everything like that, but you're changing for the wrong reasons. You shouldn't be changing because she wants you to. You should change because you want to. But he's gonna sit there and find that out the hard way. So that's gonna be a laugh in itself. But I feel like that's pretty much about it. Like I said, Liam and Wyatt didn't really do too much. They just worried about their dad, and they eventually called Baker and X, Y, and Z. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.